Roadkill. It's Freiburger versus Finnegan in a muscle car shootout. Now, normally you'd expect us to be driving junk, but I hope you don't feel that way this time because they're both my cars. I'll be in my Super B, he'll be in the Crusher Camaro. We're gonna roll him from LA to Salt Lake City to see which one survives, and then drag race him in a quarter mile. And the good news is, I can't lose because they're both my cars. Hey.
Are you ready for your ass whooping?
What am I ready for?
Your ass whooping. You're going down. 3,488 pounds. What does yours weigh?
3850. What is that? 362 pounds.
It's Thursday morning. Just got done scaling the Crusher Camaro to find out how heavy it is. Gonna make some last minute adjustments because this car hasn't run in a while. And in fact, the Super B and the Crusher have never really run at the same time, nor have they run against each other. So this is kind of an epic trip for us.
There's a lot of history in both of these cars, not only for Hot Rod Magazine, but with me personally. The Super B is a 70 model, and it's actually my very first car. I've had it for 30 years. When I was 15 years old, I paid $1,800 for it. The engine in the Super B is a 484 cubic inch Hemi, which is based on the 426. On the dyno, this thing made 675 horsepower, but by the time I got it in the car with smaller headers and a full exhaust system and a mechanical fan and all this other kind of stuff, I'm thinking it's delivering like 600. The Crusher Camaro is a 67 model that has been with the magazine since about 1994. At the time, the gas companies in California had scammed the government into this program where they were collecting old cars and they were crushing them for smog credits that allowed them to put out more pollution from their offshore refineries. So I remember going down to a junkyard and I spotted this 67 Camaro and I thought, no way is this guy handing that car in to get squeezed. I ended up paying $700. The engine in the Crusher right now is a 489 cubic inch big block Chevy. But the big deal is the belt-driven intake manifold, the Wyand 871 supercharger topped by two 850 Holley carbs. Pushing like 5 pounds of boost through this thing, it makes a brutal torque curve and 700 horsepower.
Both of these cars have electric fuel pumps, and when you wire them normally, they run all the time, wide open. That heats the fuel up in a fuel cell, and when you've got a fuel cell this small and it's a 100-degree day out, you don't want hot fuel in here. So we're putting fuel pump controllers in both cars that'll slow the pumps down at idle, keep from heating the fuel up, it'll make the pump live longer, keep the thing from vapor locking, all good.
In theory.
Theory? So we break down on the side of the road today.
So, you'll notice I'm already ahead of you.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Besides, all the chicks care about is who's got the bigger engine. That would be me.
Get out of the way, Escalade. There's a whole lot of awesome coming through right now.
Oh, the meter's on.
It's like a Christmas tree.
There's no question Finnegan's gonna boil the hides away from the meter.
Whole shot.
So we're about to embark on a journey in cars that are about 50 years old with no air conditioning, no electronic fuel injection. But driving an old hot rod, that's like pizza and sex. Even when it's bad, it's still good. And let's see, we've gone less than a mile and we're about to test the cooling system out in the car.
LA traffic in a big way. I'm guessing the crusher's still at 160 degrees.
171.
I just crested 180.
Yeah, we maybe have to take the hood off your car at some point.
This is where those fuel controllers are a really big deal.
This is really weird because I've got a seat belt, a side mirror, and 4.5 gauges that work.
Now, if you're really sitting down, wait for it, registration and insurance.
On both cars?
Why, yes.
Wow, you've gone pro. We're fully legal.
So when you rear end the Super Bee with the crusher, I'll just have my insurance company pay itself to fix it. Okay, I hit 200.
At about 188 degrees here.
No hood works.
No hood for the win.
Okay, 220. We should probably get off.
I will follow you.
Hemi, not known for running cool or getting good mileage. I got up to 220 at one point in that traffic, but that was after 45 minutes of sitting. So I'm gonna say it wasn't that bad. You get rolling and it comes right down to 180, but what's really funny is that I got 7 miles to the gallon. Proud of that number.
Probably getting worse than that today because I'm taking every available inch of the highway and doing burnouts.
I think that means it's done. Nobody light a match.
Well, Finnegan got 6, so once again he did win. But he continues to gloat about my car being superior to my car. And I don't think he gets that. Well, it's 11 o'clock. We've made it to Barstow, which is roughly a 2-hour drive that we've accomplished in, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Have we really been on the road 7 hours?
Yeah, we're right on time.
Yeah. The socket is worn out on the tail light and isn't grounding. And so he sometimes has running lights, sometimes not, sometimes brake lights, sometimes not. It's kind of like a disco. What he's trying to do is make a wedge so that when the socket goes into its hole, that these tabs will keep in ground with this thing. Problem is the socket goes in and then dangles around freely and doesn't ground.
What if we install it halfway and just tape it together?
I'm good with that. This here is why we can't have nice things. Only I have the skills to make the bulb light with no ground. Until, ready? Ta-da!
All right. Still on?
If we were here any longer, we would have to pay rent.
I survived the slam test.
Ready?
Yeah.
I would have paid $10 to see one of those lights go out when you did that. Yeah, 12 hours to get to Las Vegas. Should be a 5-hour drive. We're gonna go cruise the strip a little bit, listen to some bums scream at each other, maybe score some meth.
I got you something because you're in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Perfection. Maybe get ourselves a friend for the night and see if we can find a hotel that will park the cars right out front so they don't get jacked with overnight. And then we're gonna sleep for 45 minutes and hit the road again in the morning because it's supposed to be 6 hours to Salt Lake City, which for us means 12. Vegas, baby. The Super Bee will never ever top the Crusher for the ability to just blaze tires at will.
I think you just need to try harder is all.
It's so realistic, I feel like I'm actually in New York right now.
The cab drivers in Vegas are every bit as salty and crazy as the ones in New York.
Now it is Friday at 1:30. We got into Vegas at 5:30 in the morning last night and we had to sleep this morning because now we have 9.5 hours to drive to Salt Lake City where we're gonna attend the midnight drags at Rocky Mountain Raceway and they open at 11 p.m.
It's 104 freaking degrees in the desert right now. Roadkill. I'm gonna need it. Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks.
You know it's bad when the homeless guy wishes you good luck after he takes one look at your automobile.
I'm glad that I have the vinyl seats here so that the sweat just sort of pools around my butt.
Yeah, I got Yeti sweat now. Soon it'll be swamp ass.
This is really like when Fat Elvis had his comeback at the Las Vegas Hilton, and he was on stage doing the karate chop moves. I'm thinking the level of sweat down his back was about similar to what I have right now.
Not to just kick you in the nuts with the whole age thing again, but I don't believe I was alive when Fat Elvis was doing the karate chop you speak of. That's a little better. Oh, that's still hot. I now understand why pimps in the desert favor white upholstery. They just gotta stay cool.
Oh, this isn't good. Remember, we put those fuel pump controllers on these cars because we knew it was going to be hot like this. It's 107 here right now. I'm actually having a fuel boiling problem. It's like percolating. You can feel it when you're driving down the road. It sort of surges sometimes, and the carburetor is so hot you can't even begin to touch it. On day 2, the heat was even worse, but we kept moving pretty fast on the highway, which solved the overheating problems for the radiator. The poor fuel pump was suffering so bad in the heat that it started to groan, and the car was actually surging from fuel starvation on the highway. If I lift and let it fill the fuel bowls, I can drive it normally for quite a while, and then it starts to stumble, and then I lift, and then I'll drive normal again.
Yeah.
And it sounds bad. You hear how loud it is?
It's overheating. I'd say let's buy like 10 bags of ice for the trunk to get around the fuel cell, and then prop it up with towels and bungee cord the trunk shut, let it cool off, and hit the road again.
All right. Hopefully there's drain holes in here somewhere.
Here where we can make a kegerator out of the Super Bee. All right, 5 more ought to do it. That's what you get for building a drag car and pretending it's a street car.
Well, but this is actually not really a drag car. It's neither fast nor streetable.
You put the gas tank and the fuel pump inside the vehicle. Not a street car anymore.
Is that what it says? I think this is going to fix it. Finnegan's argument is that it's a tuning problem. I think that this alone is going to solve it, so we'll find out what happens.
$100 for ice. What the hell? That's going to be fun to expense.
I realize that an added benefit to the ice in the trunk is that it's helping eliminate that stink bug stance.
It's a twofer. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Actually, that's a 3-way, because it's also keeping the beer cold.
It's 9:09. We want to be there in 51 minutes. And I think we're about 2 hours away, but we've been booking 80 miles an hour right up to the point where we ran out of gas in the Crusher within sight of the gas station. And also, you know, did you realize we lost an hour? We didn't take that into consideration. This is Utah. It's mountain time.
Oh, man.
Drive faster.
Beer in a bag, polygamy, lost an hour? I don't want to be here.
After more than 20 hours of driving, we finally made it to Rocky Mountain Raceway at midnight. We were blown away when we got there about how many cars were there. They usually have to cut them off at 200 cars, and there was a ton of people in the grandstands. Stuff like this just does not happen in California anymore. It's like 1 o'clock right now. They close at 2, and the people here are super cool, but there's a limit to what they're gonna let us do.
We're trying to do some road trip maintenance, new spark plugs. Sooty. She's not exactly tuned for highway driving.
We wish we'd arrived at like 9 o'clock so that we could truly be ready for this. But as usual, we're jamming at the last second to get in as many runs as we can.
We got 30 minutes left to get this done. I gotta rejet Dave's carburetor. I have a bad feeling he's not gonna get to make a nitrous pass.
Are you standing here waiting for us? Oh, I know. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
The people at Rocky Mountain Raceway were super cool, and they held the lanes open longer than they really should have as we were thrashing on these cars to get passes in. But finally they were both ready, and Finnegan hopped in the Crusher and took off out to the starting line. And that's when the Super Bee wouldn't fire up. I opened the hood and found out that the secondary float ball on the carburetor was just a geyser of gasoline.
He was right behind me. I don't know what he's doing. Something must be wrong with the car.
These are jet extensions right here for when the fuel's sloshing towards the back of the bowl. You can see the witness mark where they were crushed and holding the float down. That wasn't good.
All right, well, Dave has pretty much burned up all of our time. So now I think we're down to 1 pass.
Just run him. I'm 50-50. This is probably not going to happen at all.
Drag that Freiburger and I didn't get to race. And honestly, totally my fault. As I was slamming the carburetor back together, the float in the float bowl actually got stuck on the jet extensions and sunk it.
You gotta have a love-hate relationship with automobiles, especially old ones. As much fun as we had driving all the way here, you get right to that last minute, right to the mountaintop, and get gut punched. That's what Dave got.
It was a big letdown to just be sitting there in the pits. The Crusher went out there and ran an 11:19 at like 120-something miles an hour. Also kind of a disappointment. That car has proven to run 1060s at Fontana, but the problem is there was 6,000 feet of density altitude at the drag strip that night, reducing the boost from the blower, which just kills horsepower. Repair and maintenance prohibited in the parking lot, but it doesn't say Roadkill on it, so my thought is it doesn't apply to us.
More of a guideline than a rule, right?
I can't deny I was really depressed at not being able to get the Super Bee down the track. We needed to turn it around, make it another 700 miles home, and find some way to put a capper on this trip. After a little bit of burnout mayhem to sort of relieve the pressure, we came up with a scheme. When we're done with this show, 2 days later we've got to leave for the Bonneville Salt Flats to go race our Camaro. And the problem is, we didn't have a truck to haul the thing up there. As a matter of fact, the car isn't even together. We'd found this really cool ramp truck before we left, but didn't have time to go buy it. And so we decided on the tail end of this trip we were going to haul down to San Diego, California and pick it up.
Everything's going great. Get into Nevada, cruising down a big mountain. All of a sudden I hear, psst, boom, blow a tire. I immediately have flashbacks of the Gremlin all over again, except this time I don't crash. Pull over, tire actually came off the rim. So this time we're smart. We brought spare wheels with us, but we weren't smart enough to bring lug nuts that actually fit these spare wheels. So I've robbed washers off of all the other wheels on this car, and I'm now spacing the lug nuts because they're too long with Craftsman wrenches. That's right, folks. 11/16 and 3/4 inch shorty Craftsman wrenches. And we only have 3. This is what's going to be holding this wheel on as I limp down the road 10 miles to a hotel because I'm going to go to bed. I'm done. Roadkill. It's beer time.
This thing is mint.
Well, I can tell already this is one of our better purchases.
Oh, this is way too good for us. I think it's got 56,000 original miles on it.
It's got the good front end on it.
It's a 73.
Yeah, see, it doesn't have the flat front of the later models. This is cool.
And it doesn't have drip rails. It doesn't have shoulder belts. I seriously think 56,000 could be legit.
No more trailers.
You know what else that means? No more 55 miles an hour in California.
Will it go over 55?
Oh, that I don't know. Probably not.
It's got a winch.
Oh, it has a winch. The air
Two
conditioning
gas
works.
tanks.
The stereo works. It has a FM radio communication for Baja.
Wait, a stereo? Wow. How much was this?
$3,500.
We've spent more than that on a lot worse.
Oh no, this is a huge score. Let's see if it'll run though. I have to admit it did have a dead battery. Something had to be wrong with it.
You want to? That's a big block, 454.
Factory 454, yep.
Air conditioning and 2 batteries.
Do you want to put the Crusher on the truck?
We could. We can just test it out now.
As a roadkill trip goes, this really wasn't that much of a fiasco. Yeah, we kind of failed at the drag strip, but we did drive 2 of my cars 1,500 miles by the time we were done. And that's a pretty big deal, especially when you're looking at stuff that has this kind of horsepower and that hasn't been on the road that much for a long time. As it turns out, this ramp truck is way too good for us. Having said that, the junk's probably going to blow up halfway to the Salt Flats. And you'll see more of that on the next episode of Roadkill.
On this episode of Roadkill, we drive all the way to the Bonneville Salt Flats so David could kill our Camaro.
There's 3 pistons left. On the last episode, we bought this 73 Chevy ramp truck for $3,500 to haul our race car to Bonneville. It's also completely untested and unproven, and we've got to use it to drive 650 miles with a race car in the back. Top speed racing is kind of the thing these days. It's popped up all over. You see stuff going on in standing mile events in several states. But the granddaddy, the biggie, is Speed Week at the Bonneville Salt Flats. And as a matter of fact, in 1949, Hot Rod Magazine helped this event start at the Bonneville Salt Flats. It was the first time hot rodders had run there. To me, it's really got a lot of history, and it's my passion. It's the racing that I like to do. We've run this 81 Camaro there since 2004. I've got a partnership deal with Keith and Tanya Turk where they own the car and Keith sort of manages that mechanical part of it, and I'm in charge of the engines. I failed on that a couple of years ago when a carburetor vent fell through this big block and completely destroyed the engine. We went back and got a record on 2 cylinders, and that destroyed the thing even more. But that was 2011, 2012, we didn't race. This year we had to do it, and so we rebuilt that engine. Finnegan threw it together, we took it out to the dyno at West Tech, it made 1,100 horsepower.
By the time we got to the dyno, I had spent nearly 72 hours straight building the engine over at my shop. I can build an engine in 3 days, but usually I've spent 2 weeks mocking the parts up to make sure they fit before I do that. So this deal, total roadkill, total mess. Nothing bolted onto this engine without some massaging and some cursing.
What we've got here is a big block Chevy. It's 489 cubic inches, which is a 454 with a 1/4 inch stroke in it. The big deal is the Vortex supercharger, which is making 10 pounds of boost, and I'm blowing through a carburetor, which is a little bit unconventional, but the thing is, in the classic category that I'm racing in, you have to have a carburetor, and so this is what I've chosen to do. People also ask, where's your intercooler? The atomization of the gas coming out of the boosters actually pulls heat out of the air, and so you drop 100 degrees across the carburetor. 200 degrees in is 100 degrees out.
All this room to carry everything you need to go racing. Doesn't get any better than this. Sure, it's old and scraped up and whatever, but it's got character. Even if it doesn't get us there, it's got character.
This is our first attempt at putting this car on the ramp truck, and it's not looking like it's going to go very well.
Go this way?
Is it already hitting something? See, now stop.
Turn it this way.
Okay. Okay, hang on. The easy thing to do would have been to throw the Bonneville car into an enclosed trailer, but man, I've always wanted the ramp truck. What I don't know is how it's gonna handle with 5,000 pounds of irreplaceable race car on the back. We're hitting the road in the morning. Good over here.
Let's go to Utah again.
It's only been 2 days. I kind of missed the place.
Because compared to some of the other pieces of crap we've driven long distance, this is like being in a limousine.
I don't know why the air conditioning isn't on right now.
You want to indulge yourself in all the luxuries right away? Radio, air conditioning, windows that go all the way up.
We might need the air conditioning before it overheats. We might as well enjoy it now.
We'll just get it warmed up right away?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Just feel the pleasure coming out of the dash.
1973 GM Air.
I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I'm actually cold now.
I am too. It's completely not right.
I'm going to turn down the pleasurizer here.
I didn't want to admit it. I'm glad you went there.
That's some good air conditioning. Maybe it's really not that cold. We're just not used to having air conditioning. So it feels really cold. 60 feels like this is where this thing wants to go.
Yep.
Not quite the speed limit, but faster than you're able to legally go with a trailer behind you, and that's all I care about.
What I don't understand is the complete lack of drive shaft vibration.
Well, it's stock. Nobody's lowered the thing.
I know. I'm not used to that. Oh, look. Factory printout of when this thing was purchased. This came from Oregon.
Does it say who bought it? Try to find the guy.
Sold to Cheryl's Mazda. This was a Mazda dealership truck.
A Mazda dealership bought a Chevy to haul Mazdas.
In 1973.
Interesting.
When stopped on an upgrade, do not hold the truck with the engine. Use the service brake. Just sitting there stalling against the converter on a hill. Caution, do not accelerate the engine more than 10 seconds while holding the vehicle with the brakes. They thought we were gonna go drag racing it, I guess.
I don't like these rules.
The first 120 miles were pretty good, but as we left flat ground and approached the mountains, things began to get interesting, by which I mean slow.
So right now we're going 50 because I'm at part throttle on flat ground. The moment we hit a hill, we're done. If I give it throttle, it surges and wants to shut off.
Yep.
As if there's very little fuel in the bowls, so...
When you throttle back, it cruises.
Yeah.
Breaking down to the extreme term. We're lounging in the lap of luxury while experiencing a minor difficulty with our fuel delivery.
don't go disco inferno right now on the hill. I know we got a stereo, I know we got air conditioning, I know we're spoiled. Come on, baby, up the hill, up the hill. We're getting passed by a motorhome.
Thing is surging because it's starved for gas. It either needs a fuel pump or the fuel filter is clogged. It does have a mechanical fuel pump on it.
It's got 2 gas tanks, and it's got a switching valve here from one tank to the other, and this is an electric pump, but I don't think it's running. Okay, it's on.
Not working. Wait, stop. Shut it off. So the fuel's getting to here. There's a chance this filter's clogged. That looks clogged. That's the problem.
We need a piece of hose. Bypass it.
Yep.
That'll work.
That'll work.
We're stealing a piece of vacuum line from the engine. Now I need to find a bolt to punch into the vacuum line to keep from having a vacuum leak. Is there any random bolts laying in the cockpit of the Camaro? There we go.
Got it.
One man's misery is another man's fortune.
You can generally fix your car with junk lying
Look,
on the
his
ground.
car caught on fire, and his watch caught on fire. I got a watch and a bolt. This will buff out. You give to the highway, and the highway will give back to you every time.
So much wind. Should I leave this at the side of the road for the next guy?
You might need it.
Might not.
Maybe he needs 3 inches of fuel line, and that
He
doubles
might.
his
I'll
3
leave the 3 inches
line.
of fuel line. Air conditioning. Go all out. We got the Ram truck up and running again and rolled down into Baker, California and wrenched on the thing a little bit more. And of course, made the stop at Alien Fresh Jerky because you have to, you're in Baker. But once we hit the road again, pretty obvious this junk was not actually fixed. It wasn't clogging up this fuel filter, and so now we're narrowing it down to the fuel pump. We had a spare, we're throwing it on. In theory, I'll be running like 200 plus miles an hour tomorrow, or in 2 days. Not if we don't get there. You get comfortable working at the side of the highway with semis whizzing past, because you know, none of those guys have been awake for 48 hours.
What semis?
After putting in the new fuel pump, I went under the truck to check for other leaks from both gas tanks. And that's when a piece of rust fell in my eye. It was far from the first time that's happened, so at first I just brushed it off, but as we hit the road, my eye continued to get worse, and that meant our next stop was to our local urgent care.
I found another fuel leak under the truck in the middle of nowhere, and I learned my lesson, glasses. Because for the past 3 hours, Finnegan has been down the street. He's got to stay here in Vegas and get his eye dealt with first thing in the morning while I cannonball all the way up to, I think, Ely, Nevada, get a room so that I can get to Bonneville in the morning. And none of that's going to happen until I fix this filter, which is going to gush at least a gallon of gas in my face. Okay, that's plugging that one, letting that one leak out and not splash in my eye. Ah, yes, cars. So much fun. Ah! Oh, wow, this is way bigger than 3/8. This is gonna be bad. All right, we've slowed that to only a minor environmental hazard. Wish Finnegan was here, then I could at least make him do this. Maybe I should just run over to the emergency room with Finnegan and check in. Have a nice night's sleep there. Oh yeah, it just died. Headlight's not working. Key not working. This is another new problem I'm not sure that we've mentioned yet. The Ram truck has a random electrical problem where it just has no power at all for no reason. And then it magically comes back for no reason. I'm done. I eventually figured out that the electrical gremlins were caused by all of the main power wires on the starter being just flat out loose. Once that was fixed, the Ram truck was running stronger than ever, and I still had 4 hours ahead of me. Turks have shown up here today, who are my partners on the race car. They brought our actual race trailer with us so that we have all our equipment and everything. I just slept 3 hours. How about you? We got 4.
Ramp truck's good.
It's really, really cool. It's really, really good. Today is Friday. There have been people out on the Salt Flats for a couple weeks dragging all the courses, making them smooth. It's entirely run by volunteers. And the other thing that they do is set up the pits and the tech inspection lanes. We're pretty far behind schedule, but I hope we can get there in time to set up our pits and get the car safety inspected. You don't really know how fast you're going, because if you see here, you've got no perspective. There's no guardrails, there's no trees, no nothing like that. You know you're going fast because the car is screaming, and you look at the tach and you know mathematically what you're doing, but there isn't that sense of speed like there would be if there was a brick wall right here, or if you were at an Indy Speedway trying to turn a corner or something. It is like driving on the moon. These guys are doing what people did in the 40s and 50s, which is using the old mosquito netting or army camouflage leftovers to build their tent. At this point, the car still had not fired up for the first time this year, and there was a ton of work left to be done. But the ramp truck had done good, and Finnegan was finally en route, and there was a week of racing ahead of us, in theory.
On behalf of Hot Rod Magazine, I would like to introduce David Freiburger to present the Hot Rod Trophy.
The other thing that has gone on here since 1949 is Hot Rod has given a top time trophy, which is for the fastest one-way pass during Speed Week. The Petite and Main car has won the top time trophy 4 years in a row. The trophy's down here, you'll see their name on it. Last year, they went 423 miles an hour and change. I understand some people are gunning for you. We'll watch it all week. Thank you very much, everybody.
So after seeing 3 doctors in 2 days, my Terminator eyeball is fine. Of the 3 diagnoses, the one I'm most comfortable with is you had dirt in your eye, it's gone, you're gonna be okay.
We're just going through the car, doing a couple of last minute things, nut and bolt checking everything, because you don't like junk falling off when you're going 240 or 50 miles an hour. So what are you doing under there? A little bit of a leak.
I put a fresh set of plugs in there. We're mere minutes away from firing it, which in roadkill time is mere hours.
I'm calculating what kind of gear we want to put in. It's a quick change rear end, so we can pretty much pick whatever we want to pick. I think I'm going to put a 280 in it. There we go, that's what I was looking for. That's like a 218 right there. Look at the giant difference between the size. So a small one goes on the bottom. There we go. That's it. I'm looking here at what classes we're going to run. This is the soft one, obviously. A classic blown gas coupe, 207 miles an hour. When Finnegan leaves, so that he doesn't like freak out too much and wince because this is completely Mickey Mouse, we can unplug one cylinder and run this, and unplug another cylinder and run that.
You son of a bitch. No, we're not. No, we're not. I worked really hard on this engine.
I know. Well, we're going to use most of it.
Can we just start this thing?
Can we get this further off?
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't get the car fully prepped before you leave to go to the races. You find things out like
Yeah, see,
there's no fuel coming out of one fuel line.
Is this fitting new? Like not used on the dyno?
I didn't plumb it, I don't know.
Plug in the flow bowl. That was a Mike Finnegan prevents the engine from blowing up on the first pass catch right there.
I get to stay.
The dyno shop put the plug in the float bowl to keep dirt out of it, and of course, we didn't look for it when we attached both fuel lines.
Starting the car up for the first time, this is a big moment right here. Car is sat for a couple of years, built an engine in 3 days. Let's go racing.
Cranking first. No oil pressure yet. Gauge works. The safety inspection at Bonneville is pretty hardcore because when stuff goes wrong at 200 plus miles an hour, it goes way wrong. That means that you've got to have a fire system on board and a parachute and all the regular lap belts and everything. The safety inspectors will usually point out a couple small things on the car, but we sailed right through with flying colors. They closed the actual paperwork part of tech 2 minutes before we were done. So we won't be racing till they open up 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. But the good news is the car will be completely prepped by the morning and we can drink beer now. So really, it's all good. This is why it's Speed Week.
Yeah, not Speed Day.
Right. Now it's Sunday morning, our third day on the Salt. We finally got our act together, ready to race. Even though it's the fastest place on earth, things happen kind of slow. We are going to roll up, put in the spec gasoline for the class that we're running, and then hit the starting line, and we should get a run in early this morning before it turns to be 100 degrees. The current record in the class I'm racing right now is 207 miles an hour, so I'm calculating at what RPM I'll exceed that. In fourth gear, I need to hit 6,500 RPM, and this one is 230.
This is the worst part of racing, the waiting. The tweaker in me wants to take the hood off the car right now and give everything one more look. I don't want to do that though, because it doesn't need anything. But standing around, I have nothing to do, so I'll keep pacing.
When you get to the line, you have to make sure that you are strapped in your car well in advance.
Fire pins out. Parachute, fire off.
You snap up that window net, and you and the Bonneville Salt Flats are all alone, ready for speed.
Fire it up.
Our first run was a complete waste of time. I didn't even make it out of second gear before I realized something was way wrong. We had put the gears in upside down in the quick change. Big gear is supposed to go on the bottom and the little one on the top. So small one goes on the bottom. However, last year when we ran the car, or 2 years ago when we blew up the motor and we set that record on 2 cylinders, we need like a 7-to-1 gear ratio. So we flipped the gears. That was an attempt at like a 6-to-1 gear ratio, which doesn't work very well. So now we are correcting that and giving me the ability to once again run 200 plus miles an hour.
Over on course 1, 462 car, he's flying. He's through the 2 at 175.234. Quarter is 194.775. Shooters out as he passes the 3 at 200.599.
It was a mess. I couldn't get on it early. I short shifted it to try and make it hook up, but it's just doing this the whole way.
Since our last run, the engine has developed a pretty good misfire. Bad enough that we're pulling valve covers, and now we're going through the ignition system.
That ignition box had been in the car for 6 years or more, so it's not surprising it finally died. The new ignition system seemed to fix the misfire. We had one more run left of the day.
out at 191.658, exit speed of 199.840.
That is a lot like a racetrack, except more like a sandbox. There is no traction to be had whatsoever. Hopefully we'll be able to hit our number tomorrow, because we did not today. Best we could run is 200 even when we needed to go 207 to qualify for that record.
We didn't want to drive around the ramp truck on the salt because the salt will destroy this thing. It'll rust immediately. So we've been borrowing our neighbor's truck for the past 2 days. We're in a pretty good time crunch right now, so we can't really wait around to borrow somebody's truck. So we're making a push bar for the front of our truck out of an old tire and some plywood and some ratchet straps. So now we're one step closer to being self-sufficient.
This is one of the few types of racing where making your car heavier can be better. We're looking for traction, and so we managed to mooch 300 pounds of lead from our buddy Lee Cecilio. I am affixing it to the car here. Some things have changed since yesterday. One, we're no longer running on course number 1 because the traction there was so hideously bad that we just weren't getting anywhere, and a lot of racers agreed with that, so we're on course 2. Second thing is we found that there's another racer in our same class who has qualified for this record this morning at 225 miles an hour. Not too big of a deal. Here's how the records work at Bonneville. You run a qualifying pass right now that exceeds the existing record, and in the morning you run a backup pass. The average of those 2 passes needs to exceed the existing record. So even if we run slower than the 225 that the other guy ran, we still have potential to beat that record in the morning, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go out here and lay down a number right now.
This is car 462 over on course 2.
So while racing, this is the David Freiburger, Tanya, and Keith Kirk machine.
Car 462 has gone through 2 at 184.4. 3/4 at 200.3. 206.593 by 3. 217.640 mile 4.
I think that did it! Almost 8,000 RPM! I don't understand how it can be that wide open for that long and only go that fast. The tach said I was almost at 8,000 RPM, which should have been 245 miles an hour, 250.
Tires slip?
It's gotta be. Finally, we had to get into a little bit of strategy because we'd qualified for this record at 217 miles an hour, but the Trans Am had also run that morning and gone 8 miles an hour faster than us. That thing doesn't even have an air dam on it. It's weird.
Oh, stock hood too.
Right now we're in impound so that if we do choose to, we can stay in here and run for the record in the morning, but we're gonna work on the car a little bit and see if we can find something we don't like about it where we know we can go faster, and if that's the case, we're gonna run back out and make another pass today. If you leave impound without backing up your run, then you've thrown away that record attempt.
We made 2 changes. Gear in the back of the car, new blower pulley up front, but our blower pulley and our belt's not quite fitting together, and we're trying to jam this thing together and get to the starting line real quick.
By the time we had sorted out what we wanted to do to the car mechanically, we'd spent enough time in impound that we weren't going to get another run, and we decided to just stick it out and try and make our record return run the next morning. Every morning at the Bonneville Salt Flats, the first thing that happens is record return runs. All of the cars that qualified for a record the previous day line up and parade out to the starting line and get their very first chance at running down the track in the morning. It's 7 a.m., sun just peeking over the horizon. And this is going to be our best opportunity all week to put down a good number in this class because they moved the track last night, so we have fresh salt. We've put more boost in the car. We have less gear. Cross your fingers.
Car 462 now underway on course 1. Current temperature is 82 degrees outside. Humidity is relatively high here at 24% this morning. Came through 2 at 170, 649. Through the quarter at 188, 417. 190,924. By 4, shoots out, 185, 677.
Motor's history. The bottom line is we stepped up the boost on this thing, I leaned it out, and it blew up. I should have smelled the oil. I should have felt the power going away. It was just all over.
It would be easy to be depressed about what happened. All that hard work, all that money going into a car, and then we don't get a record. But let's be honest here. David just went 217 miles an hour in a super old Camaro with an engine that we built in 3 days.
One year, we set 5 records in 5 days in 5 different classes. I have never left Speed Week without setting a record. That is until now. But you know what? I blame Roadkill.
When I started working on it, it only went 200. It's kind of messed up.
You're the guy from Roadkill, aren't you?
Yeah. That's weird.
I showed my mom the video of the van and all, and my mom heard the bad word, and she's like, no more watching.
Back to your homework.
Yeah, that's what my mom said.
That wasn't me, that was the other guy.
Wait, who?
That guy over there. Right there.
Oh, yeah, my mom's mad at him, not you. On an episode, they took a van and a wagon and just took them out to the desert and just bashed them. Yeah, who would care? It's a Prius. Bad. N-O, I hate Priuses. I want to stick old school with gas. My mom's not here. She doesn't talk about it now. She hates it.
This time on Roadkill, we've got El Camino, we've got Dog, hot rods, burnouts, altereds, customs, Merc, wine. You can't go wrong.
You had me at El Camino.
We're kicking this thing off here at Finnegan's shop where you always have to roll a boat out of the way to get to the actual car parts. What we're gonna do is roll from here to the Hot Rod Ranch in Lompoc, California. Those guys have a bunch of cool stuff and they're gonna be painting a 32 Ford project of mine. Then we're gonna roll up to Gambino Customs and pick up a 51 Merc that actually belongs to a Roadkill Viewers. We're gonna make it run and drive it over to another shop that's gonna be working on it.
We're loading up the El Camino. We're gonna take my wife's car this time because it's probably the most reliable thing we have in the Roadkill fleet right now. This is how you keep oil from the breathers off of your engine compartment. Microfiber towels cut up, wrap around the breather with some zip ties. And for a little while, it works really good till it gets saturated.
You've churched this thing up since the last time it was on Roadkill.
Oh, dude, I gave it a bath and everything.
Well, check out these wheels.
The other ones, well, let's just say they weren't exactly round. So,
these are, and these tires are killer.
Yeah, these make me look like I know how to go around corners. Oh my God, these are way too sticky. These will not do it.
So, Hot Rod Ranch, Lompoc.
The place where Vin Diesel went to prison in Fast and Furious 1.
Is that true?
That's what he's claimed in the movie.
Oh, okay.
I did 2 years in Lompoc. I ain't never going back. That's the way he said it.
A little bit of tire rub with gear and me in the car. So this is claiming 3 hours and 13 minutes to Hot Rod Ranch.
So 9 hours.
Plus we have to go pick up the dog.
Say that again?
We have to go pick up the dog again.
Wait, what? You have to...
You're gonna
Is there a blanket for the
bar.
seat? Like...
I think you need to wear a rain slicker, because I'm aiming that at you.
Oh my god. You want to put her in the bed in the cage?
We don't have the proper harness system.
Ah, look at that. She knows where her seat is. Oh my god, it's working.
No.
It's working.
Wow. I didn't have to heave her.
Look at how obedient she is now.
Okay. There you go. Wow, that is a stinky dog. We should have hosed that junk off before we loaded her in here.
Do not lick my face. Okay, we talked about this the last time. What'd she get you?
Got a little bit of French there. What does this stink?
No hotel's letting us stay. No.
Not if they smell this.
Uh-oh. What was that?
What was that?
What was that?
Not good.
Is that a protest?
That might have just been her snoring. She snores pretty good. Hey dog, what do you think of Finnegan's fancy new steering wheel? Does that look chewable? It's tasty.
I'll give the dog that.
Don't chip your tooth on the billet.
Doesn't chew things up. That would require too much effort.
Yeah. If the El Camino had air conditioning, it would be as good as the Ram truck.
This is true.
It cruises good.
It's got a lot of utility.
Good armrest.
All right, going for the carpool lane because we can.
The dog pool lane.
The 50 Merc was about 350 miles north of our office in San Jose, California, and for once, we had time to take the Pacific Coast Highway and drive up the one.
This has been one of our more scenic drives recently. No desert.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Ooh, tunnel.
That was fun.
Very angry 383 inches.
Yes.
The next morning we met up with Gil, Jamie, and Randy, who are the three brothers that run Hot Rod Ranch. The first visit was at their shop, which is separate from the ranch.
There we go.
How you doing? How's it going?
This looks cool.
Thanks.
You said I might not be impressed. I already am.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Well, welcome to the.
Just going past you, right in.
Right in.
Wow.
Wow, that's what it looks like when people make progress on a 55 gasser. I'm unfamiliar with that.
That hurts. It just hurts.
Ooh, I like the color on this. Is that just House of Color?
It's called House of Colors Lime Time, yeah. This is a truck that we built for my uncle. He's had it since he was like 16. And a few years back, he decided to go all out on it.
You guys did all the body work on this?
Everything.
God, this thing's straight.
That's really nice.
This is kind of our first main build, but, you know, serious build, you know.
It's really flat though.
A lot of color sanding.
A lot of color sanding.
We hand formed that whole engine cover out of sheet metal and Randy did the flames.
That is beautiful.
Cool.
Thank you.
Wow, this is bigger than I thought. Ooh, here's another 34. Oh, it looks a little decrepit. And I'm working on a 32 Ford project that's going to get painted by these guys, which is why I wanted to stop by and sort of see the shop. I've never been here before. They take stuff like this 34 Ford. Look how clapped out this thing is, and they're going to make that into a real car. It's pretty amazing.
So if you don't mind me asking, what did this cost?
This one I picked up for $2,400.
Wow, that's not bad.
I got offered $3 grand the very next day for it. It's like, it was just, they're getting hard to find, you know?
It's just crazy that something that's missing half the firewall, part of the pillar, because when I say he paid $2,500 for this, you really have to realize that he paid $2,500 for that.
What's amazing about these guys is the sheer volume of work that they actually get done. I've been following this Project Thunderbird that they're throwing a late model Coyote motor into, and by far my favorite car here is this 34 Ford that Gil picked up and turned into one of the most wicked looking Altereds I've seen in a long time.
We need to find out if it'll pass NHRA tech and build a real motor for it.
I'd really like to, especially after when we found out, you know, it weighed 2,300 pounds. You know,
Exactly.
That's pretty light.
I have an aluminum block that would look fantastic on this thing with an 871 on it. Check this out. Did you guys build this? You found it? Wow. Oh, that is totally sketchy.
Just start off nowhere near the cars, okay?
Oh, no brakes.
No, you got a brake right there. Look,
Where?
right here.
Oh, okay. I bet that works good. No.
Ready? You got this. I feel good about this because I'm not on it.
Yeah. Ooh, there's more good junk down here.
Take it off some sweet jumps.
Ow! There we go. Maybe sandals aren't the best idea. Oh, chains off.
It works about as good as most of your cars.
All right, that was fun while it lasted.
As if there wasn't enough cool stuff here at the shop, we were gonna head out to the ranch, so I hopped into Gil's 34 Ford and we hit the road to go check it out.
Is it stupid or ironic that we're in Lompoc about to do burnouts right next to the sign for the U.S. Penitentiary? See? Told you this is where Vin Diesel went.
The ranch is where the original shop location was. It's actually where these guys grew up. And now they just basically use it for storage, but they store cool stuff. Their big deal is gassers, and they've got these two 56 Chevys that are just original leftovers, very pure to the 60s and 70s era.
I'm just sitting here daydreaming about what it would be like to drive my car. This is pretty cool because my car was completely gutted when I bought the body. Didn't have anything, no switches, no door, no gauges, no, just nothing. So this is the first time I've actually sat in a 55 Chevy and looked at the dashboard and went, oh, that's where the glove box goes.
We could have spent all day and into the next one there hanging out with the guys from Hot Rod Ranch, but it was 250 miles to Gambino Customs where the Merc was, so we had to hit the road. We arrived in San Jose and got to Gambino Customs late in the afternoon, and we met Alex Gambino, who I knew by reputation because the guy builds really awesome traditional customs. One of them is like his daily driver. It's this 57 Chrysler that has a Winfield fade job that Alex did himself. And then we laid eyes on the 50 Merc.
So this is it.
It used to be a coupe, but somebody has hacked the roof off and put in a Chevelle convertible top mechanism that doesn't really work right. It also has a big block Chevy in it, which makes sense because the whole car is on a Chevelle frame. It's a good solid foundation for a running driving car if it wasn't quite as hacked together as this one is.
So you're just trying to make sure everybody's aware this is not your work.
Oh, yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of wrong here, but this is a fun-looking car. I mean, I would be completely happy to drive this, you know, into a wall or something. So my connection to this whole deal is Jim Norman and I became friends because he was watching Roadkill and he sent me a message on Facebook once and he was looking for some parts and I had an engine block he needed. After that, he happened to mention that this car needed to get from Gambino Customs to the shop that he has in Paso Robles. And he was gonna come down here with some tools, get it running and drive it. Instead of him fixing the car up, we came down here to put our magic touch on the engine. We know it's got a carb problem, the oil smells like gas, but it should light off, it should move, then we'll be able to tackle the brakes. With any luck, we'll hit the road tomorrow afternoon. And now that I've said that out loud, it'll probably be Monday morning.
It's Saturday morning and we're back at Gambino Customs, ready to work on the Merc for the first time.
You can see the front half of the Chevelle chassis right here. And they've grafted some 2x4 box tubing down the middle. Some really brilliant welding there, let me tell you.
It runs, but we haven't driven it yet. The problem is there's a massive oil leak. So that's the first thing we have to fix. And we have help from Jim here, who actually hooked us up with this whole deal. So we can kick him later.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So here's how oil's supposed to work, right? It's supposed to be fairly consistent, a little thick. This is more like water with a little bit of gasoline in it. So it's not doing anybody any good.
I am thinking that the fuel pump diaphragm's bad and pumping gas into the oil. But see this? This is
hey, that's supposed to turn.
Hard to turn.
It's supposed to turn.
Yep.
This is a first for Roadkill because the Merc is a custom instead of really a hot rod or a muscle car. They've always said that hot rods are for scaring girls away and customs are for attracting them. They're all about the look. They're for styling, profiling on the street, not that much for really going fast.
This is a 50 or 51 Merc, which is sort of like the iconic custom car. It was the first time Detroit had recognized what the custom guys were doing, and it was almost a custom from the factory. If you saw like American Graffiti, the Pharaohs, that's what they drove, is one of these. And this one has been customized. It's got the classic Packard tail lights, and this is like a 56 Chevy, I think, front bumper that's flipped upside down and put on the back of the overrider bar. So kind of traditional custom stuff, executed not that well.
You never know really where to begin on something like this where you've never touched the car. You just start fixing junk, and the more you put hands and eyeballs on the car, and find even more. That's like something we do.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
If we were on the side of the road, we would. You would have at least polished this.
Yeah, use an Allen bolt, you know.
Yeah.
Remember we had that problem with the front wheels barely turning, like the brakes were locked up? It's got discs on the front, and I noticed that it has a drum brake master cylinder, which I know because both the reservoirs are the same size. I also know that a drum brake master cylinder has residual pressure valves in it, which are designed to hold just a little bit of brake fluid pressure in the line, but you can't have that on disc brakes. So we ordered a 72 Chevelle disc brake master cylinder, and Jim's throwing it on there right now.
Jim was a huge help on the brakes along with Freiburger. I worked on the tune-up, and we thrashed on this thing all day long.
There you go. Oh, nice! Airbags in the coil springs, booger weld extended the frame. There's the exhaust system that does a corkscrew and a half gainer over the rear axle.
This thing was registered as a truck in Indiana in 2011. So Jack, the guy that owns this car, is way more legit than us because he registered it and insured it for our little trip here.
So far, so good. Want to tune it up?
Ooh, wait. Easy. Let it warm up.
You want to put a light on it?
Yeah. Well, it starts. Not running real good yet, but we're going to put a timing light on it and get the screwdriver out and try to get it running a little bit better. About 14, 16. Let's go with there.
That's way better. Oh. Sweet.
Might do a burnout.
That's fixed. It was firing the ignition timing 8 degrees after top dead center. It actually wants to be about 16 before, so we set it up there, and the thing purrs.
It's unbelievable. We actually wrapped up a bunch of stuff on the Merc in one day. We hopped in with the dog and with Gambino and took off to find out what disasters were going to await us next.
Sounds spunky.
It's way better.
Oh, this is going to take some getting used to. All right. I feel like I'm driving a land yacht right now.
Cool. I give him 25 yards before he finds out if it does a burnout. I heard a little squeak.
Yeah. The windshield is not tall enough.
All the dirt is flying out of the floorboards and into your eye.
All right, ready for the brake test?
Brake test. Yeah!
Good brake.
Not bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A lot of dirt. We probably should have vacuumed the turds out of this.
Yeah!
There we go.
Get some! Not terrifyingly fast. I'm calling that a 396. Even if it is a 454.
Cop behind us? I don't want to look.
No, no.
Is there any chrome I can look in a reflection to see if he's behind us?
No. From my peripheral vision. Oh. He's holding up his camera. That's not suspicious at all.
Nice work. Wow, that's gutless.
Yeah. Turns out there was a cop sitting back there at the light, but we managed not to get pulled over and headed back to Gambino's one last time before hitting the road. Gambino asked us to sign the door, which is really cool because this is like his top heroes that come here to visit. Number one, Gene Winfield and Frank DeRosa Sr. and
Mine's missing something.
There you go. They'll know you were here.
Yeah.
While we were at Gambino's, I was posting some photos on Instagram, and there was a kid who recognized where we were, and he was right in the area at 16 years old with his first car, a 51 Pontiac. So before we hit the road in the Merc, we decided to cruise by his place and check it out. Cool. How long have you had it?
A month and a half.
Did you pinstripe it and everything?
My uncle pinstriped it.
Is this your very first car?
Yeah, very first car.
What do you have under the hood?
350.
We're gonna get smoked.
Yeah? And is it a stock front suspension?
Yep.
That's gotta be fun. And this is your mom's truck?
Yeah.
My car in high school wasn't nearly as cool as this one.
I'm glad you're keeping the flame burning.
Oh, don't forget your dog.
Oh, dog. What?
It's pissing on a smart car right now.
Our dog?
Well, your dog.
Oh, dumb dog.
Your neighbors are gonna hate us.
Oh, she peed on her leash. Come here. I got the dog. Weak. It's Sunday on Roadkill. Last night it was pretty funny. We actually stayed in a high-end hotel, and believe it or not, they did not allow dogs. So we went ahead and brought the dog inside. That went pretty well. Had to smuggle her back out this morning. Went to a gas station and made a major environmental hazard. Wow, that's hideous. That is going to be a trail of fire following us the whole way. Pretty good. We're only smoking a lot.
Let's test out the sway bars. Everybody lean. Whoa. Can I get a GPS reading? Tell me how fast I'm going. I'll be driving by engine noise from now on. We have no tachometer or speedometer.
Ooh, getting daring.
I feel like we should be robbing a bank right now and then going surfing because we got no roof. The door is just a little high.
Oh no, it's perfect. You gotta get your, that's gangster lean right there.
It's just a little high though.
That's the look.
Because right now my arm's getting chafed on the plasma cutted door seam here.
Well, maybe that's the actual problem.
Yeah. This car's full of good intentions. Look at that. Really expensive wiring harness. Poorly installed.
Big block Chevy, making a lot less power than a big block Chevy.
You drove $200,000 or $300,000 at this thing?
Mint.
You'll have a $20,000 automobile.
Well, we only had to drive 160 miles down to Paso Robles to deliver this car. The first hour of driving this thing actually went pretty well. And then it started to get really hot outside, and naturally, the car started to overheat. This thing is gonna puke.
There's the air, Chuck. Where's the water?
It's not puking. That scares me even more. We were freaking out at the gauge, like touching 250 when we would stop and going down the freeway at 230, which is way too hot. So we thought it was overheating. We cooled it off.
Oh, well, there was water in it.
Yep.
Apparently it wasn't overheating. The gauge just sucks bad.
We're gonna let it cool down a little bit more, get the cap off, fill it up with water, not crack the block because it's not overheating, and then hit the road again and ignore the gauge. After a bunch of times pulling over thinking it was overheating, and then maybe it's not, and then trusting the gauge and then not. We got to like 6 miles of Jim's vineyard, and it was obvious this thing was in nuclear meltdown mode.
That's hot. That's really hot. Come on, hood. Hey, the hood hinge came undone.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
Can you grab that bolt out of that pocket there?
Does that go right here? That hurt. Oh, man. Woo!
So the last time we pulled over and the gauge said 240-ish degrees, nothing happened. It actually wasn't that hot. This time when the gauge said 250, we pulled over and it puked its guts out everywhere.
It's a good thing this is one of our shorter trips because this is going to get real old real fast. We're only 6 miles from where we need to be.
So what do? Oh, we do what we always do. Take the hood off. That's the obvious fix.
It doesn't sound happy now that I've done that.
It does not. Whoa!
Hello. Why is it waiting to the very end of the trip for the wheels to come off of this thing?
I don't know.
I was genuinely concerned about bringing this car to its new owner because he'd never driven it, he'd never really seen it, and it showed up with the hood in the back seat.
The Merc's owner was there with his dad and with his little kid. And I'll tell you, any doubts I had about this car melted away immediately, because when this guy saw his Merc for the first time, his eyes were just huge. The guy glowed like he couldn't believe it. And he knew the car was rough, but it didn't matter because it made him happy. And best of all, his little kid was bouncing off the walls.
That's a father and son driving in their new hot rod. New to them anyway. Look at that. Best day at work ever, right there.
Woo! Hey, little chap. Is that awesome?
Next generation of hot rodder right there.
Drinks are free, night for gaming mix, lunatic agree with victory claimed in this virtual world, delight, embracing the light as we make the night.
It's yet another episode where we're gonna dig out one of my old cars that's been sitting around forever and do something with it. This time, it's a 68 Dodge Charger that I think I bought about 5 years ago. And actually, I didn't even buy it. I traded it for a set of cylinder heads. Just go ahead and pull the wire.
That's the
awesome.
Anti-theft system there.
Wow. Last time I was here, these weeds were not there. It's been a while.
We're gonna burn half the morning just getting to the Charger.
It's better than it looks, but it has nothing in it other than a rolling chassis, meaning no engine, no transmission, no drive shaft, no wiring, no brakes, nothing. That is disgusting. Check that out.
We have to get it out because if we move this and it breaks open in the car.
Do you see what this is?
It's like movie parts.
This is a movie F-bomb fender from Fast and Furious. Check it out. They wrecked like 5 of these cars for the 30 seconds that thing was in the movie.
So we moved Freiburger's crappy Jeep. We need to move Freiburger's crappy Charger, but his crappy trailer has a winch that doesn't have a crappy battery to power it. So we're gonna take his crappy Suburban to an auto parts store to get a battery, to work the winch, to get the Charger out, just so we can get to somebody's driveways, so we can start working on this massive drivetrain swap that he has in mind in 3 days?
2.5.
Yeah, we're hosed. I have a vision for this car, and I don't think it's exactly what his vision is. My vision is it's sailing through the air in a bright orange ball of fire, you know, over a canyon.
You want General Lee?
I want General Lee.
I want the General Mayhem. That's what this is going to be. The General Mayhem.
Mayhem's good.
Yeah.
As long as it's orange with an 01 on it.
No.
The first step was to blow all of the rat turds out of the Charger, so we loaded it up on the back of the Macho Grande and dragged it over to the coin-op car wash.
I'd bet $1 that today we're the only ones hauling a 68 Charger behind a Macho Grande through Burbank, California. That makes us winners.
I like the way you've really asked no questions about the condition of the Charger, what might be missing, what I did or didn't order, what the parts vehicle is.
I have really low expectations for this deal.
I'll say this episode will not end without us having it running and driving. How's that? Movie magic.
You did leave yourself a good size out there.
Yes.
Well, it's difficult to see right now, but this car is actually full of critters that want to kill me. So we're gonna hose it out here at the car wash before we even think about working on this piece of crap.
Yuck.
You're gonna get scurvy right now.
Oh look, here's a whole bag of Corona bottles.
Oh, you're about to get gonorrhea.
Oh, that stinks. Yuck. Oh. Oh.
So glad this isn't my
Oops,
car.
that broke.
Oh, and you broke the bottle. This right here is what makes the Charger cool. Go faster grooves in the doors. Look at that. It just looks like speed happening right there. It's restored now. Wow, you're going all out. Suds and everything.
I think this fender is probably giving you ideas.
Dude, I'm telling you. It's like it already wants to be a General Lee. The car's talking to you right now. Look, orange suds are coming off of this side. It's telling you, it's bleeding orange. It's saying, come on, jump me, jump me. Keep in mind, I've never seen the donor vehicle. Oh wow, this is kind of nice. And it's way too nice to rip apart.
Nobody wants the Dodges. That's the problem, especially a long bed 3/4 ton.
But Mopar people are strange, and they're gonna be mad that you gutted the Mopar, even though it's for a better Mopar.
I couldn't bring myself to tear up that Dodge truck because it was so clean, so the problem was we needed to find something that was a donor with a big block Mopar in it that I was not going to have sentimental attachment to. And then Finnegan surfed Craigslist and came up with the genius idea.
What engine is in this thing?
That was brilliant!
Is it on fire?
I wanted a big block Mopar really badly, and one of the sources for them is old Dodge motorhomes. There's a zillion of them out there. They're dirt cheap. This is a Class A, which means not based on a van. Big ugly. I think it's on an M800 chassis, and it has a 440 and a 727. It's got a battery we can use. maybe some wiring and stuff like that, and it runs good.
We just picked it up, drove it 3 or 4 blocks, and it's already leaking.
I know how to solve that. It's overheating. Let's take the hood off.
Let's take the hood off.
You know it has a cooling problem when it comes with the return jug that they failed to install.
Well, you know, they had good intentions at least.
I didn't know this thing came with landscaping. Check that out.
I'm telling you, dude.
That's like topiary right there.
We've never bought anything this nice.
I'm really surprised the brakes work that well, or at least the front ones do. We got the Brady Bunch Edition shag carpet, nicely discolored and molded. The door does not stay shut, so that sort of flaps in the breeze, and there is this custom rope to hold it shut, but we figure that's not really necessary for our purposes. It's seriously making my eyes burn in here. Ugh, it's so bad. I don't get why it's okay up here. I mean, not good, it's fungus. But from that point back, literally, it burns your eyes and you can't breathe. I wasn't kidding, right? What is that?
Potapori? We have a super tight timetable to make this swap happen. So immediately after buying the motorhome, we headed straight to my buddies at OC Driveline to trade them the generator out of the motorhome for the drive shaft we need to connect the 440 to the Dodge Charger.
I haven't really checked out the engine yet. Oh, man, it stinks. Yep, this is a Chrysler 440 big block. You can always tell the big blocks from the small blocks because the distributor's in the front, whereas the small block has it in the back. And, ooh, Thermoquad. That is a Carter Thermoquad, the famous carburetor with the plastic body. That's genius. That's gonna run really well on the Charger.
It's time to take the hood off. Roadkill style.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be way more efficient.
And it's attractive.
Next.
Look at that, look at the flow.
Yeah, I think that's good. You know what I'm thinking though, is it burns your eyes so bad in there, we're gonna need some ventilation.
I like what
you're picking up what I'm putting down? Want one on your side? If the engine cover's off, we'll get flow through the grill, across the engine, and out the back.
This was really unnecessary, but fun.
Yeah.
Because I want people to look at my calves while I'm driving.
Here's what I was thinking. Ready? Push it in, don't hit it. There you go. Thermoquad!
The only carburetor that punishes you for trying to go full throttle. We try going to the floor.
Nice!
There we go.
Wow! That's the sound of power!
There we go.
I don't sense quite enough fear in all these people.
No.
I don't think they know.
You mean we need to show them what the Pace Aero is capable of?
I think so. See if I can affix the door.
Isn't there a piece of rope in here?
Okay, let's see. Worried this thing's gonna hit a motorcycle splitting lanes. Here, hold that open. Ah! Wait. Got it. Okay, now I got rope.
You got the screen door. If you believe our temp gauge, this thing is running ice cold. Upon closer inspection, she's puking coolant all over the ground. So I don't believe the gas gauge either, so we put gas in both the main and auxiliary tank, which didn't move the gauge at all. And they both only took 10 gallons. But it's running fine, and I honestly think we're gonna make it. Yeah, that door might be okay. Oh!
That was awesome.
Yeah, pull over, we'll rip it off completely.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't coming off. It's fine. It's just this.
Ah, it's just the guts. With no tools on hand, we just decided to start ripping the door off, and that only got us so far. I'm a human can opener right now. When all of a sudden, the LA Department of Transportation shows up, and they've got an axe.
There we go. We need to get that off there. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very
State
much.
of California saves us.
That was fun.
We spent all day getting the motor home here, and it's out in the street, but it won't fit down the driveway, and it's too late for us to hack out the sawzalls right now, so we're gonna get to work on the Charger. Let's start right here and work our way back and remove everything we don't need just to get it out of our way.
Starting with the hood. Because of
That's
Roadkill.
a good idea. You know how they say to make a statue, you start with a big block of stone and chip away everything that isn't a naked woman? We're right now chipping away everything that isn't a badass Charger. Ugh, gross. Looks gross in here.
By the time we got back here to actually work on the Charger, it's so late at night we can't make any noise. So we'll pick this up again tomorrow. I am jacking up the back of the car so that I can rip out the gas tank, because that'll probably be the quietest job I can do right now. And since it's 8 a.m. in the morning, the neighbors probably don't want to hear me busting ball joints loose with a hammer and a fork. Where they jumped it. Some Bo and Luke Duke stuff right there.
Thing I love about Roadkill is we're gonna put nice, shiny aftermarket parts on that crud right there because we don't have time to do any better. And we always go, oh yeah, I'll take it apart and fix it later. I don't.
I never say that. I say you'll never take it apart and fix it later.
I always say that.
There's no brake drums. And there's no springs. There hasn't been anything back here for a really long time. Are you swapping to discs?
Okay. No, I had no clue.
This is all roadkilled. Look at that.
That's gonna put a damper in our schedule.
That just screwed us.
Yeah, completely.
Drink beer? Drink beer and think about it?
At this point, the episode fell to complete disaster, and it was obvious we weren't going to get it done. We had to run off and shoot something else. And so I took the hulk of the Paso motorhome, shoved it back into storage, abandoned the Charger at Rob's house, and walked away for a month and a half before we started working on it again.
You ever considered dusting this car? Just a light little Swiffer right here on the dash so you can see the gauges. You've done an excellent job of keeping your area clean. Did you buy a Supra too?
No.
This isn't even a good Supra.
People always park here and block my spots. I've had vehicles that I've sold that I can't sell because junk is in the way. So we got to move that.
Did this get worse since the last time we were here?
Looks like someone messed with the spare tire.
Let's see if it runs. Whatever that funk was in the back the last time we drove this, that's gone, but I think it's been replaced by spiders and other things I don't want anywhere near me. Just pour a bunch of that on there so it blows up right in my face.
That's good, right?
That's enough. That was all that. Oh!
I thought I was gonna be able to find a junkyard to just take this thing. It turns out we're gonna have to pay to have it hauled away, and they won't take it complete. No one around here. So we're gonna have to sawzall the whole body off of the motorhome. We ordered a dumpster to throw all the junk in, and then we're gonna have to have the frame hauled away separately.
This is a reciprocating saw, and it's my friend, my good friend. See that? Look at the action on that baby. It's gonna turn this into butter right now. Look at that, like butter. In our warped and twisted minds, we decided we'll rent a dumpster, cut the entire thing up by ourselves in one day, and throw it all away. Oh, cool.
There's our guy.
All right, perfect. Well, we've given the Supra guy at least half a day to move his junk, so time's up. He's getting blocked in. This is my level of concern.
That was impressive.
Now that we've got the side open, our plan is to cut the whole floor out so that we can just get directly to the engine.
Almost missed.
Good. See? Liberate it.
This should have been a factory option.
Oh! That was close.
I really thought that was coming back.
I did too. All I wanted was a big black Chrysler for my Charger. What a fiasco. This is debacle.
You're setting records right here.
DEFCON 6 here.
We just went in, not even a circle back to the beginning. This was a figure 8 back to the beginning.
But this is a 440. Those other ones are only 400s.
It makes it all worthwhile.
It's all worthwhile.
So I call about the motorhome. So how much is it? $1,200. Okay. I show up. It's a lady and her husband. And I'm driving it around. It runs okay, not great. And I'm trying to bargain with her. I'm like, hey, you know, $1,200 seems kind of high. How about $1,000? No, I'm pretty firm on $1,200. All right, so I drive it around the block a few times, come back home, shut it off, and it diesels for no joke about 30 seconds straight. And it finally stops, and I go, so you'll take $1,000, huh? She's all, yeah.
And what a deal you got!
Look at it this way, I got an entire house for $1,000. Engine in, out for the first time for the last time.
Oh, you knew that was gonna happen.
Why couldn't we get a hoist with childbearing hips? This ain't gonna work.
Looking pretty solid to me. There we go.
That's one side.
Yeah, it seems like it's still... Remove it.
Freedom.
Okay. Can you try and bucket that? Too late.
It's done.
Yeah.
It was a lot like a recreational vehicle archaeological dig to get the 440 out of this thing, but finally, we liberated the glorious big block Mopar.
Best part, though, is that we found a guy who's gonna take this thing so we don't have to cut it in a million pieces and throw it in the dumpster.
I'll be honest, we had to pay him to take it.
Yeah, but don't care.
So tomorrow, I'll go get the ramp truck, I'll load the Fury on it, I'll come here, we'll put this in the trunk of the Fury on the ramp truck, return the $400 with the Sawzall blades, drive the whole mess to the Charger, and then
make a bigger mess there.
Pillage the Fury and the engine for the Charger.
Yep, no, that's perfect.
Everybody got that? Look at him, already stripping parts.
Ah, the Fury, my old friend. I'm here scavenging parts off the motorhome, and Finnegan just showed up with the Fury.
She's a little overloaded right now, breaking through the floor.
Oh, I know.
So right now what we're gonna do is roll the Fury back a few feet, swing the engine out of the motorhome up into the air and into the trunk of the Fury, and then tow the whole circus over to the Charger, unload everything again. Why do we make things so difficult? No one's ever parked a 440 in the trunk of a Fury on the back of a ramp truck and driven through Burbank.
I'd say start setting it down. What's the worst that could happen?
Put a hole in the fuel cell and fuel everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the world's only rear-motored 73 Fury. There, I solved that problem. It's through.
Not even gonna ask what that was.
Oh, this isn't going anywhere. Probably not coming out either.
The donkey's not going to the junkyard. That's going back in my living room.
We're doing the car dance right now. We had to move the Charger out so that we can get the Fury in so that we can work on it more easily. So it'll be Charger out, Fury in, Charger back in, Charger out, Fury out to the junkyard, Charger back in. Got that? Okay.
I didn't get that at all. What are we doing?
Let her rip.
think we're bottomed out on the driveway.
Whoa.
We're wedged against the inside of the trunk like we were predicting.
What'd that car ever do to you?
Okay, pushing your way, it's gonna do that. Okay. Yep, slice those 2 plug wires.
The Fury is going to donate the transmission, the front accessories, the seats, some of the wiring, maybe the rear brakes, most of its soul. Just, you know, the things we need, the little things.
I thought we honestly were going to be able to get this whole car running and driving in 3 days, but my 3 days means 6.
I like it when I show up and you're already working. It's like when you come back from the bathroom at a restaurant and the food's already there.
I decided to go ahead and take the engine out separate from the transmission, basically so we don't just bloodbath the driveway.
Oh, that sounds messy. I'm just gonna sit here and watch you work for a while. Makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Time to relieve the donkey of its duties. Just leave like that for a while. I can't believe that I'm scraping grease off of an engine so we can clean it so that Freiburger can paint it. An engine that came out of a motorhome that we bought for $1,000 that's going to get stuffed into a charger that probably cost $1,000, driven once on Roadkill, and then stuffed in some back lot later. Like, everybody buys a motorhome, they're like, woohoo, travel the country with our family. Then they find out their kids hate them and don't want to spend that much time in a car with them. Yep. So the motorhome sits in the driveway and accumulates a total of 38,000 miles over a 30-year span.
So I'm going to gunk this thing, and they had 3 different things at Pep Boys: original, foamy, and heavy-duty gel. So I'm going to find out which one I like best.
True story. When I was in high school, and I didn't know anything about cars, my Camaro leaked a lot of oil. And my Friday night ritual was to take my paycheck, head to the local auto parts store, buy gunk, and clean my engine before going out. That was it. Never fixed the oil leak. I just cleaned it every Friday.
Because Roadkill.
Shut it off, dude.
Let this thing dry for a couple of hours, and it actually came out pretty good. I think I like the gel and foamy gunk better than the original. They kind of stick to the thing better, and the heavy-duty stuff, you can almost see the grease falling off. Opar guys are going to be all over me for not painting it either Hemi Orange or Chrysler Turquoise. Freshly rebuilt.
Wow, Fonzie. All black, huh?
Yeah. If I had painted it orange, it would have been way worse.
I think you've talked yourself into this.
Yeah.
I think it was a valuable use of our time and resources. You know, it was blue. It couldn't be blue. It's going in a black car. So now it's black.
Now we have to pull the engine out of the Fury and then take the transmission out.
There we go.
Or do that. Torque converter's sort of coming out with the motor, but it wanted to. Now, let's decide where this is going to sit for 6 years.
Rob's front lawn.
The transmission in the motorhome had a companion flange on the back of it instead of a slip yoke, so we couldn't use it. So that's why we're using this transmission.
You want me to lower it a little bit?
Wow, how does this leak that bad? How is that even possible? We just made a bloodbath of epic proportion over here.
Oh my God. There's a triple homicide under the Fury.
This is unbelievable. You know, the thing is, ATF is mostly a detergent, so we're really cleaning your driveway.
So in a twisted way, you owe us.
Oh, okay. Because it really needed clean before you got it.
Look at how good it is. Look how shiny it is now.
This Fury was a factory towing package model, which is kind of like a cop car package, and it has a factory limited slip in it. So we're going to pull out the whole center section out of this rear end and put it in the Charger so that we have posi for better donuts. And it also has 11-inch drum brakes on the back, which I'm going to take off and put on the Charger, which has factory 10-inch brakes. So the Fury, once again, the gift that keeps on giving.
We're like the Native Americans, you know, we're not just out there hunting buffalo for sport. You know, we're going to eat every piece off of this Fury. So there's nothing left that anyone can use.
We started off our morning sending the Fury to the junkyard, which is a roadkill first. Usually we take cars from the junkyard, or we have cars that should be there.
It's opposite day.
So now we're gonna pull the pan off the motor, put on a new oil pan that will fit the Charger. We're gunking the transmission, and we're gonna bolt it all together and hopefully have the engine in the car in about 15 minutes.
We are getting close.
As if by magic.
It's like it's already done. We could just start drinking beer now. Look how close we are.
Now. Okay. I've probably had the Charger for about 7 years, and it's just been a rolling hulk the whole time, so this is a pretty big moment. I've been wanting this for quite a while.
Freiburger and I have worked on this car off and on for the last 3 months. We've wired it, we've plumbed it, we've put the shifter in, put a drive shaft in it, so it's got functioning gauges, for Christ's sakes. This thing is probably nicer than most anything we've had on Roadkill just because we were the ones that worked on it. It's actually wired properly. A proper fuse block. That's right, if something goes wrong, the fuse blows, the car doesn't burn to the ground. For once, it's not a fire hazard.
I wouldn't go that far.
This thing is finally ready to crank to life. And we could probably go off-roading in the next 24 hours, I predict.
I've been keeping it as cheap as I possibly can, doing stuff like reusing the thermal quad, using 2 sets of spark plug wires to make one good set. This has got 1 set off the Fury and a couple wires off the motorhome. And look at the zip tie wire separators, which is always a good tech tip right there.
And here's where all the science happens. Start button, ignition, fans, headlights, and for Johnny Law, that turns off our taillights in case we got to get away really fast. If I push the start button, he's gonna flinch.
Whoa! You're gonna puke tranny fluid everywhere.
Oh, you're just startled that this piece of crap actually cranked over after 3 months.
Oh, this is the real reason to own a 68 Charger, is for the flip open gas filler. I love this thing. I actually bought that new reproduction for like $47 because I love it so much.
Yeah. I think Dodge, Plymouth, Chrysler stole that from boat guys.
Don't care, it's cool. I plan on firing the thing up today, but we still have some things to do. There's a brake line that needs to be made, need to put the push rod in there. Of course, Finnegan's installing the tack, that's crucial. I want to hang the fender, also crucial, put a bumper on it and stuff like that. What else do we have to do? It's getting down to short list.
Rub some awesome on it and go hit the road.
I have a 69 fender that we have to modify just a little bit to bolt onto it. 0 insurance and registration. In fact, you know, we don't even know that the car isn't hot. I traded the thing for a set of cylinder heads. It might not be registerable.
This might not even be your car.
That's right. We might have just put the thing running and driving for some guy we don't even know.
Right now, Freiburger is pouring some gas down the carb, and we're going to try to fire up the Charger for the very first time since 1983.
Go. Stop. Let me. Oh, do you have the ignition on?
I did. Can you make sure the box is lit up?
The box doesn't have a light on it. Trying to fill the float bowls of the carburetor by pouring gas down the vent tube. Okay. Here it comes. Wow, it sounds weak.
We just ran out of gas. It had 75 pounds.
Yeah. It runs, but there's only a couple issues. One of which is it sounds like an absolute turd. This thing makes 200 horsepower. Second of which is it has not picked up gasoline out of the tank yet. I can't just keep feeding it gas into the carburetor. So I think I'm going to fill up the float bowl and see if we can get it to run long enough that it'll actually suck it up out of the tank.
As far as I'm concerned, a Charger should sound like the General Lee, and this does not sound like that.
Got it. That's paint burning off the headers. Yeah.
You have a Charger that runs.
It smells really good.
I'm a little jealous over here because I know this is temporary where I'm sitting.
This is big.
It's car needs to be jumping over a river. If we tried to drive it right now, we may just disappoint ourselves.
Probably.
We should just bask in what we have happening right now.
Yeah.
Which is a car on jack stands.
That runs and revs.
Most cars on jack stands don't run or rev.
I don't care if you don't paint this like the Duke's car or not, I'm still sliding across the hood.
5 months later, it's winter in Southern California, which means it's raining and we've got thicker clothes on. The driveway is a bitchin' shade of rainbow from all the fluids that are dropped on it. And the Charger is not here because Freiburger actually drove it to an exhaust shop and an alignment shop. Oh, look how straight the wheels are.
It's not that loud.
With exhaust of sorts.
Look what we made.
The guy at the alignment shop said we would have died if we'd taken off as it was.
Well, the wheels were like this and like this. It was...
I've only driven it 2 blocks. No reverse.
Nope.
Seriously, absolutely nothing. How is that possible that it drove in the driveway and as soon as it saw you, it broke? I honestly fear that people think that we will have faked this for drama because it's so unbelievable, but you have to see this. We do not lie on Roadkill. Fire the thing up. We know it has fluid. We put it in reverse. We know it's shifting. Goes no, whoop, hey.
I just tried to drive that car and it wouldn't move. How's this possible? Oh no, it's dead again. Except now it's dead in the street.
I seriously thought Freiburger was pulling some sick and twisted joke on me when he magically made the car stop moving.
So we shoved it back in the driveway, crawled under it, jerked the transmission out of the thing again, and ran it to a shop down the street where we found out that I had not gotten the torque converter fully seated in the front pump when I put the engine in the car the first time. While the transmission was down the street getting rebuilt, we had plenty of time to make the Charger cool and even legal. We hung some headlights in the front of it, and because an original Charger grill in mint condition costs like $2,500, we ended up making this killer Mad Max grill out of some perforated steel.
We just created probably the greatest grill that mankind has ever known, and we don't have beer to celebrate.
There might be one Bud Light, so you're right, we don't have beer to celebrate.
No, this
There's
achievement...
just no celebration in Bud Light.
This is the equivalent of stepping foot on the moon. That's what happened here today. If I was a guy in a Prius or a Yaris and I saw this coming at me in the rearview mirror, I'd get out of the way.
Right as we wrapped up the grill, the guy called and said that the transmission was finally done. So we ran over there to pick it up, slapped it in the car, and then, of course, the topper. We had to throw on the Fury's Hemi hood scoop, because the Fury always brings good luck.
We're going on a road trip today. There, I called it. I declare this Charger roadworthy.
Ready? That was cool. Fire out of the scoop.
I can't even believe it. We are finally going to hit the road.
All right, I'll be Bo, you be Luke.
Yeehaw!
That's not smoking as much as it was.
Rob's our friend, but you really need to do a burnout down this street.
Oh no, it's a big.
That was it? That was on the floor?
Pretty much.
Oh my god. What's that noise? Driveline?
You bolt the drive shaft in?
Yeah. It sounds like the muscle truck.
Kinda.
Oh my god, that's dirty.
What is the smoke? Headers?
It's the dirt coming out of the dash, dude.
No, that's smoke. See the smoke pouring out of here?
It's hard to tell.
Look behind us, dude.
Dude, you ever seen that Cheech and Chong movie?
I'm thinking we should pull over.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my God. We might be on fire, dude.
Yeah, I know.
So we got on the freeway.
Coming out of the other side.
Things sounded awesome. Like, literally, greatest exhaust note ever. Reminded me a lot of the muscle truck. And then it was just James Bond smoke, the whole entire freeway. I think we stopped 3 lanes of traffic just now because it's puking tranny fluid everywhere.
Dipstick came out.
Came out? Hey, it's gone.
Transmission fluid catches on fire good. And luckily, that didn't happen yet. We did have the James Bond smoke screen going on.
Went to put the dipstick in, and that's supposed to go into one of those bolts, but we were kind of in a hurry to leave, so I thought, oh well, I'm just gonna hammer the dipstick tube in, put some RTV on it, and it'll be good. And it wasn't good. This just blew out. My fault. I almost burnt the car to the ground.
We've got some sort of a clunk going on up here when it's rotating. I should probably look into that while he's fixing that deal. Okay, I found that clunk, we're good. It's the wheel weight is just hitting the upper ball joint. It'll fall off soon enough. Daylight was winding down, but finally we had this thing running again and hit the road. I can't tell you why this was such a lifelong dream for me, but I have always just loved thrashing passenger cars around in the desert. And to have a 68 Charger in particular, it just brought back the vibes of Dukes of Hazzard and Dirty Mary Crazy Larry and even Bullet. It's just, I was raised to believe that a 68-69 Charger is the most indestructible vehicle off-road, and I was set to prove it.
If I closed my eyes, I swear I was riding in the General Lee. It sounded just like it.
Wait for the next one, that's gonna be good.
Water came right through the floor, dude.
Oh, shit, screwed.
All 4 wheels never left the ground. We've got too much respect for this car. But we did get it sideways around every corner. We did throw dirt in the air. We had a blast.
Man, this episode was a long way to go. I think back about how I really thought that we were going to get this Charger done in 3 days, but it turned into 6 months. But finally ended up with exactly what I've wanted for a long time, and that is the Mad Max Vibe 68 Charger. And in the end, there's only one thing left to do: a proper burnout.
What engine is in this thing?
I believe it's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's 8, yes.
Is that a V8? Let me talk to my wife here and see if she'll give me some money.
I don't understand. Oh, we're gonna pay you to take this. We don't want it. You take it, and we'll give you money.
Oh.
See, it just got better, didn't it?
He's not pay 500 for that.
No, we're gonna give you money.